Well, more on chickens now, this time about how they communicate. Last year, CBC brought you the story of a researcher at Dalhousie University who's looking into the sounds chickens make and what those sounds mean. The work is happening at the Atlantic Poultry Research Centre in Truro. That same researcher has since developed an app. It's called Cluckify to help people understand what chickens mean when they make sounds. For example, this is what a chicken sounds like when it's feeling territorial. That's the sound of a territorial chicken, which is part of an app called Cluckify. The researcher behind this project is Dr. Suresh Neethirajan. He's an associate professor with the Faculty of Computer Science at Dalhousie University, and he joins me in the studio. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bob.
This is an interesting area of research. When you told family and friends that this is what you were doing, developing an app and digging into this research, what was their reaction?
They find it very intriguing. It's people have been doing this in an intuitive way for many years in different countries. So when I tell them, hey, we can actually decode and decipher what exactly they are trying to communicate, they find it fascinating, and it's more enjoyable experience in terms of learning new ways of life of chickens.
So how does the app try to teach us then what a chicken is saying?
So there are 2 or 3 different components of this particular app. One is there are about 45 different categories of vocalization calls, mating calls, territorial, stressful calls, rooster calls, a mother calling a chicken, chicks, and so on and so forth. So we learn these different vocalization, try to understand and appreciate. And then there is also a guess the sound game. So we play randomly some chicken sounds, and then we can try to check whether what we have learned is indeed correct or not. Can we be able to really decode what that particular context that chicken is making? So from this particular knowledge, the farmer can basically take this tool to her or they or them farm, and then they can also play and correlate with what exactly the sound is making and have a better understanding of the sounds of the chickens.
Okay, well, let's decode one of the sounds that's on the app right now. Let's give this a listen. Now, that's short, and it's certainly not seemingly joyful. You say that's actually a chicken warning of something, a pending danger, I guess, of some sort?
Yeah. So if there is a particular barrier in the pathway she is walking around, or if there is a sudden change in the environmental conditions, she try to express that freakiness. Hey, something is not quite right, kind of startled, and make that particular unique way of increasing the pitch and amplitude and the energy behind that sound.
So I suppose that sound might be followed by a sound like this. Sounds like the danger has amplified a little bit. Perhaps is a little closer. What's happening there?
So what we are looking at here is the frequency and the pause are actually the gap between each of those notes. They have reduced quite a bit. So there is a screechy. There is a way of clearly telling, hey, you know what? I need attention. There is immediate intervention is needed. So that's a way of communicating the animal caretaker. Hey, come and take care of me. Or there is an alarm here. So that's her way of uniquely saying that.
Okay, and here's another sound. Now that's the sound apparently of chickens gossiping.
Yeah, they do talk to each other. They are quite social animals. In an industry production system, when we look at it, the chickens, they right away hatch from the eggs. So they never get to see their mother, which is very different than the chickens. They are brought kept in the coops at the backyard. So the social imprinting process is lacking in the industrial production system. So they learn from each other. They start pecking, oh, this is food, this is not food. And then they start making specific sounds. And then they learn from each other. And then slowly they start communicating. So the way they, okay, I'm okay, are you okay? It's like, or sometimes they also tend to greet each other based on the unique way of expressing themselves. When we use artificial intelligence and natural language processing to decode them, we can actually look at in the English language how we see different words and letters. Typically, it will look like nonsensical words, ni hai, kimuchi, cuckoo, like that. But when we put those words under the context, how the same letter, same words continuously repeat. So we know, okay, what is it that they're trying to communicate based on the specific energy and the amplitude behind it. So they do try to talk among each other in terms of the resources abundance. Sometimes they express synergism, sometimes they express antagonism. There is a bit of pecking happens if the resources and food goes down. So it's a unique way of really appreciating and understanding what goes on in the world of chicken on a daily basis.
That's interesting, because I was wondering as I was picking through the app this morning, how do I know you got it right? How do I know you really do in the end know what the chickens, maybe we're not saying specifically, but at least generally trying to express?
Yeah, so there is another project concurrently happening in which we use artificial intelligence to exactly derive meaning out of it. It is the meaning with which humans can appreciate an understanding with the help of semantics and linguistics. The ultimate goal of our project is how do we develop a translator box that can put in a poultry barn at the backyard coop, and then it can send signals to a dashboard system where farmers can simply read it. The chickens are making sound, the tool is translating, the farmers see different words, say, okay, I'm happy, I'm contented, I'm frustrated, I need more water. So they can easily correlate and meet the needs of the birds on a daily basis.
Interesting. So the app is fun, but there obviously is a very practical use to it as well. And I suppose intuitively some farmers would know, just having been exposed to chickens for so long, generally how they're feeling. But this really is considered a tool the agriculture sector could end up using?
Exactly. So if I talk to a very senior, seasoned farmer, she or he, they exactly know, use their gut feeling or intuitiveness. But how do we translate the subjectivity into an objective tool so everybody can use it? If I'm bringing in a city kid to a farm and we're trying to expose the farming system and train them, can I be able to use gamification as an approach to engage the next generation of young people to bring them into the agriculture? Can we be able to really appreciate the daily lives of the chickens? More often, some of us tend to look at chicken in a human-based lens. How do we not objectify them? How do we infuse empathy and compassionate-based farming via the farm animal bioacoustics through understanding, through appreciating, through deciphering the languages the chickens speak? That's the idea behind this Cluckify app.
Does it also make for a better final product? I mean, these chickens in the end will end up becoming, many of them, our food.
Yes. So how do I go about enriching the quality of the life? We have been looking at how do I, freedom from thirst, freedom from hunger, providing enough spacing for the chickens to move around, always looking at the possibility of avoiding the negative. The tool we have developed, Cluckify, provides an opportunity to infuse what we call as positive animal welfare indicators. Is it possible for me as a farmer, me as a backyard owner, to provide some enrichment strategies, some playful material to infuse positive, playful behavior in the lives of the chicken? Can I be able to make the chickens more contented, more happy? Because at the end of the day, a happy animal is a productive animal. It's a win-win situation for both the birds as well as for the farmers.
So you've demystified chickens. What's next? Are you moving to another animal?
Yes, Bob. We have already started working with cows. It's called Bovine Talk. We are using artificial intelligence and latest sensor technologies to decode what is it that the cows are telling the dairy farmers. For example, right after the cow give birth to calving, if the separation between the cow and calf is longer, they try to express different calls. They try to squeal or make high frequency calls and low frequency calls. So we are using that to decode, how do we enable a new way of creating an empathy-based, engaging way of connecting with the dairy farmers. So that's an ongoing work from our research group.
Well, good luck with that. Congratulations on this research and the app, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Dr. Suresh Neethirajan is an associate professor with the Faculty of Computer Science at Dalhousie University. And as we said, he's just developed an app called Cluckify so people can better understand the language of chickens.